Hello and welcome to Peza Horror Stories. This story was sent to me by James Holden, a traveling salesman who often drove the long, empty highways of New Mexico. What happened to him one winter night near Santa Rosa still makes him swear he'll never stay in a roadside motel again. It was the kind of night when the desert wind cuts through everything. Jimmy had been driving for 10 straight hours. His route took him from Amarillo to Albuquerque, selling industrial paint to local hardware stores. But that night, exhaustion hit harder than usual. His headlights cut through the swirling dust, the two-lane road stretching endlessly ahead. A faded sign caught his eye: Sunset Motel vacancy, mile 46. He slowed down. The sign's light flickered weakly, but at that hour, any bed was good enough. He turned onto the cracked driveway, gravel crunching beneath his tires. The motel looked old but intact, 12 rooms in a row, each door numbered and paint peeling. The neon vacancy sign buzzed faintly in the cold air. Inside the small lobby, a single lamp glowed behind the counter. A middle-aged woman sat there, hair perfectly combed, reading a newspaper. "Evening," Jimmy said, setting his bag down. "Any rooms left?" She looked up slowly, smiled politely. "Room 7's open, sir. $70. Cash only." He paid, signed the worn-out ledger, and took the key. A real metal one, not the plastic cards you get these days. As he turned to leave, he noticed something strange. The clock behind the counter read 2:13 a.m. The same time blinked on the digital clock by the coffee machine, and on his wristwatch. He shook it, no movement. "Guess I'm more tired than I thought," he muttered and walked out. Room 7 smelled faintly of smoke and cleaning powder. A simple bed, a small TV, and faded wallpaper with sunflowers. The heater groaned when he turned it on, but the warmth felt good. He sat on the edge of the bed, kicked off his shoes, and glanced at the bedside clock. 2:13 a.m. He frowned. The numbers didn't blink, didn't move, just stayed there, frozen. He tapped the clock. Nothing. He pulled out his phone. It also read 2:13 a.m. That's when he heard it. Footsteps. Slow, steady, walking down the corridor outside. He figured maybe another guest was coming in late, but the sound didn't pass his door. It stopped right outside it. Jimmy leaned forward. The floorboards creaked faintly. He could feel someone standing there. "Hey," he called, forcing a small laugh. "You lost or something?" Silence. Then, 3 soft knocks. Jimmy's throat went dry. "Yeah," he said again. "What do you want?" No answer, just the faint scrape of shoes turning away. The footsteps retreated, fading into the distance, or maybe into nothing. He got up and peered through the peephole. The hallway was empty. Trying to shake it off, he switched on the TV, static. Every channel, no sound, no picture, just snow. The heater clanked louder, rattling the walls. Then, faintly, he smelled its smoke. Not from the heater, not from outside. It came from the carpet. He bent down, touched it. The fibers were warm. The smell grew stronger, bitter and chemical, like burning paint. He jumped up, heart pounding, and yanked open the door. The hallway lights flickered violently. Smoke curled under a few doors, but there was no fire alarm, no sprinklers, just the low hum of the buzzing neon sign outside. Down the hall, a shadow moved. Someone or something was standing at the far end. A man, tall and still, just staring at him. Jimmy froze. The man didn't move, didn't speak, and then, with a flicker of the light, he was gone. Panicked, Jimmy ran to the lobby. The front desk was empty. The newspaper the woman had been reading was burned around the edges, like it had been left in a fire. The clocks still read 2:13 a.m. He shouted, "Hello? Anyone here?" No reply. The air grew hotter, heavier. The smell of fire filled the lobby now. He looked toward the window and saw flames outside crawling across the parking lot, licking the edges of his car. He bolted out the door, gasping in the dry desert air, and suddenly the flames were gone. The car was fine. The motel stood dark and still. He turned around slowly. The neon sign buzzed again, faintly glowing red. But this time, the word vacancy was gone. Only the letters, ASI, flickered weakly in the dark. He didn't wait. He jumped into his car, turned the key, and sped off down the road. When he looked in the rearview mirror, the motel sign disappeared completely, like it had never been there. At sunrise, Jimmy stopped at a diner near Santa Rosa, pale and shaking. The waitress refilled his coffee twice before asking if he was okay. He told her about the motel. She frowned. Mile 46, sir. There's no motel out there. He insisted. The Sunset Motel, 12 rooms, neon sign. She shook her head. There was a motel there, she said quietly, but it burned down in 1994. A wiring fault killed the owner and a few guests. No one rebuilt it. Jimmy's spoon clattered onto the table. That can't be right. I stayed there last night. The waitress went pale. What room? He swallowed hard. Room 7. She hesitated, her voice barely above a whisper. That's where they found the fire started. They say that every few years, drivers still report a faint neon glow at mile 46. And some even claim to have stayed the night, only to find out the motel never existed. And if you ever pass through that stretch of highway near Santa Rosa, you might notice the time on your dashboard freeze. 2:13 a.m. No matter what hour it really is. This was today's horror story. If you like, make sure to subscribe the channel for more horror stories.